Imagine a single, tiny molecule. It is found in nature. It grows in certain kinds of mushrooms. This one molecule has the power to change how your mind works. It can do this in just a matter of minutes. This is not science fiction. It is the reality of a compound called psilocybin. For decades, it was pushed to the fringes of society. Now science is bringing it into the bright light of the laboratory. It is being studied as a serious tool for healing the mind. This molecule from the earth is asking us to look at mental health in a completely new way. Psilocybin is the active ingredient in what people call magic mushrooms. When someone takes it, it changes their perception. It can alter thoughts and feelings. The experience can be profound. For a long time, this was seen only as recreation or spiritual exploration, but researchers at top universities are now exploring its medical potential. They are finding that psilocybin does something remarkable inside the brain. Your brain is an orchestra of activity. Billions of neurons are constantly firing. They communicate in complex networks. Over time, these networks develop preferred ways of working together. Certain brain regions tend to talk to each other more than others. This consistent, coordinated activity creates your personal mental landscape. This is your neural fingerprint. It is like a well-worn path through a forest. Your thoughts and feelings tend to follow this path because it is the easiest route. It is the brain's default mode of operation. This fingerprint is incredibly stable. It shapes how you react to stress. It influences your moods. It guides your automatic behaviors. For example, if your neural fingerprint includes strong connections in the brain's fear center, you might be more prone to anxiety. If it involves overactive regions associated with self-reflection, you might get stuck in loops of rumination. This fingerprint is not your destiny, but it is your tendency. It is the mental home base you return to again and again, day after day. So, what happens when psilocybin enters this system? It throws a wrench into the machine. But it is a special kind of wrench. It does not break the machine. Instead, it temporarily disengles the gears. It allows the brain to escape its usual patterns. Under the influence of psilocybin, the brain's activity becomes much more fluid and interconnected. The neural fingerprint, that stable pattern of communication, dissolves for a few hours. The well-worn paths disappear. The whole forest opens up. Brain scans of people on psilocybin show this process clearly. The brain's normal hubs of activity quiet down. In particular, a network called the Default Mode Network, or DMN, becomes less active. The DMN is associated with our sense of self. The DMN is associated with our ego. The DMN is associated with our stream of inner chatter. When it quiets down, the ego itself can feel like it is dissolving. At the same time, brain regions that rarely communicate with each other start to link up. The visual cortex might start talking to the emotional centers. The part of your brain that processes sound might connect with the part that holds memories. This creates a state of incredible brain connectivity. The brain becomes less specialized and more unified. Under psilocybin, it is like an all-hands meeting where everyone is suddenly brainstorming together. Section 4. The Science of the Reset, a look at the evidence. This is more than just a compelling theory. A growing body of scientific evidence supports these ideas. Clinical trials from institutions like Johns Hopkins University, Imperial College London, New York University are producing remarkable results. These are not casual experiments, they are rigorous studies conducted in controlled settings. Participants receive a precise dose of psilocybin. They are guided by trained therapists in a safe and supportive environment. The results have been startling, especially when compared to traditional treatments. One landmark study focused on patients with treatment-resistant depression. After just 2 guided psilocybin sessions, a significant number experienced a rapid and lasting reduction in depressive symptoms. Brain scans taken before and after the treatment showed a clear change. Their brains became more flexible. The rigid patterns associated with depression were broken. Their neural activity looked more like that of a healthy brain, with more open and dynamic communication between networks. Similar promising results are emerging for other conditions. Early-stage trials looking at addiction have shown that psilocybin-assisted therapy can help people quit smoking, reduce heavy drinking. The experience appears to disrupt the craving circuits and provide a new perspective that strengthens motivation to change. Other research is exploring its use for post-traumatic stress disorder. Psilocybin can allow a person to revisit traumatic memories from a detached, less fearful state, enabling them to process the experience instead of just reliving it. Section 5. Building a new mind. The role of therapy. The psilocybin experience itself is only part of the story. It is not a magic pill that simply cures you. The molecule opens a door. It creates a window of opportunity. What happens during that window, especially in the days and weeks after, is crucial. This is where therapy plays an essential role. The period after a psilocybin session is a time of heightened brain plasticity. After being reset, the brain is more malleable. It's more open to new ways of thinking and behaving. Think of it like this: psilocybin is a controlled earthquake that demolishes a poorly built house. It clears the land, but you still need an architect and a construction crew. They build a new, better house on that land. In this metaphor, the therapist is the architect. They help the person make sense of the psychedelic experience. They provide tools and guidance to build new mental habits, new emotional responses, a new story about oneself. This process is called integration. Integration therapy helps a person take insights from their psilocybin journey and apply them to everyday life. Section 6. Navigating the trip. Risks and responsible use. While the potential of psilocybin is exciting, it is essential to approach it with caution and respect. This is a powerful substance that can produce profound and sometimes challenging experiences. It is not a recreational drug to be taken lightly. The promising results from clinical trials come from its use in very specific, controlled contexts. The safety and effectiveness of the therapy depend entirely on the right setting and support. Set refers to the person's mindset and intentions. Setting refers to the physical and social environment. In a clinical setting, participants are carefully screened. People with a personal history of psychosis are generally excluded. People with a family history of psychosis are generally excluded. Example: schizophrenia. Patients with serious heart conditions are also monitored carefully. The dose is measured precisely. The environment is designed to be calm. The environment is designed to be comfortable. The environment is designed to be safe. Most importantly, 1 or 2 trained therapists are present for the entire duration. The experience can last for several hours. They are there to provide reassurance if the person feels fear. They are there to provide reassurance if the person feels anxiety. The experience itself is not always pleasant. It can bring up difficult emotions. It can bring up confusing thoughts. This is often referred to as a challenging experience rather than a bad trip. Therapists are trained to help guide a person through these moments. They often frame them as opportunities for growth. They often frame them as opportunities for healing. Section 7. A new horizon for mental health. The story of psilocybin is still being written. We are in the early chapters of understanding how this molecule can be used to heal the mind. The research so far offers a profound sense of hope. It suggests that even the most entrenched patterns of mental suffering are not permanent. The brain, it turns out, is more like a garden than a fixed machine. With the right tools and careful cultivation, old, overgrown paths can be cleared. New, healthier ways of being can be planted and allowed to flourish. This new paradigm challenges our old ideas about mental illness and treatment. It moves us away from the idea of simply managing symptoms with daily medication. Instead, it points toward a model of catalyzed change. It uses a powerful experience to create a window for deep, lasting psychological transformation. For the millions who haven't found relief from existing treatments, this is a new reason for optimism. The possibility of rapid and sustained relief from depression, anxiety, addiction. Of course, we must remain grounded. The studies, while promising, are still relatively small. We need larger, more diverse clinical trials. To confirm these findings, and to better understand the long-term effects, we need to figure out who is most likely to benefit, and who might be at risk. Science moves slowly and carefully for a reason. But the door has been opened, and the conversation has been reignited in a serious and meaningful way. As we learn to reset the mind, we are left with a simple, powerful question. If you could rebuild yourself, who would you choose to become?